3,000 soldiers dead in Iraq, and we still haven't made wind power a national priority.
My name is John Dunlop. I'm a senior engineer with the American Wind Energy Association. We're the trade association that represents many of the folks that you've already heard from and everybody else virtually that's involved in wind energy in this country. As a matter of fact, it's our members who actually find the financing to own and operate wind energy projects. And it's those members then that sell the power under contract, the electricity under contract, to utilities around the country. Minnesota has an incredible wind energy resource. We really haven't talked about that today. The wind energy resource in Minnesota could actually produce enough or more electricity, could produce enough electricity to supply 10 times as much electricity as our current use in the state. So we do have a tremendous amount of wind energy potential. The issue I'd like to address primarily is the cost that we've seen of delivered energy from wind energy. Many of us are aware that the modern wind energy industry began in this country about 25 years ago out in California. The cost per kilowatt hour for electricity from wind power in those days was over 40 cents per kilowatt hour. Today, we're still seeing projects that are going in the ground this year and next for close to 4 cents per kilowatt hour. That's a 90% reduction from previous days. You've heard testimony earlier today that indeed the cost of equipment has increased, and that is a fact for many of the same reasons that the cost of other manufacturing operations has increased. And that also includes the cost of equipment to generate electricity from other energy sources such as coal and natural gas. So the real issue, we've heard some talk about this earlier with from Great River Energy, that indeed you need to look at the cost of delivered energy, and that cost is competitive with electricity from other energy sources. Many of us are talking about wind energy because of the tremendous wind energy resource that we have, but also because wind energy is the most cost-effective renewable as well. The issue that I think that should drive our decision in discussing whether or not we need to adopt a robust standard over a long period of time is that our members respond very, very positively to market signals that are long-term. It doesn't matter what it is, frankly. We have a federal energy policy that's been extremely intermittent. That word was used earlier. I'd like to address that briefly. Our federal energy policy is intermittent, wind energy is not. Wind energy does vary over time, and that can be incorporated into the utility system quite easily. That intermittent federal policy has been estimated to actually drive up the cost of delivering energy by as much as 20%. The intermittency of trying to build a business to meet that demand has increased the cost of delivered energy. The message that you would be sending by adopting a standard such as this is that indeed there is a steadily growing, robust market that we're creating here in the state of Minnesota that would continue to attract that robust competition that will drive that price down. In addition, we have seen manufacturing facilities moving into our region because indeed we have progressive policies. For many years, we've had a blade manufacturing plant in Grand Forks, North Dakota. There is a Siemens out of Germany has made a commitment to manufacture blades in Iowa. And just recently, we dedicated the Suzlon blade manufacturing plant in southwestern Minnesota, where they are today producing wind turbine blades to supply the market here. And they've chosen Minnesota, and they've chosen blades because blades are very expensive to transport. That's why we're attracting so many blade manufacturing plants. But in addition to that, as we've already heard, the wind energy resource is indeed much more robust at higher elevations above the ground, and consequently the productivity of wind energy has improved given a specific site. And that's why Doug Frederickson mentioned that indeed wind energy is becoming cost effective in more areas of the region.